You know what I'm saying? I took offense from where it actually started. And you never see, let Jimmy Hinchman tell you I'm a snitch. Let Prince tell you I'm a snitch. Just say it one time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because Jimmy just since 1942. I'm talking dog, nigga.
Now Little King posted this paperwork, right? And here's the thing I don't like about this paperwork. This is an actual case. For those of us that know, we know this is an actual case. Now let me read this paperwork.
King Harris just dropped what he says is official paperwork claiming 50 Cent cooperated with the feds. And the internet is absolutely spiraling right now. Yes, that same 50 who built his entire brand off calling out alleged snitches.
Let Jimmy Hinchman tell you I'm a snitch. Let Prince tell you I'm a snitch. Just say it one time.
The same guy who turned Tekashi 6ix9ine into a walking punchline over cooperation rumors. Now King Harris is flashing court documents with 50's name stamped all over them. And here's the twist. 50 finally broke his silence. This might be the wildest hip-hop scandal of 2024. We're talking about the man behind many men, the one who survived 9 bullets, and who roasted everybody from Ja Rule to Rick Ross over their street credibility. Now people are whispering that he may have told on somebody back in the day. After King Harris posted those alleged documents, 50 clapped back. And what he said, it had the whole culture buzzing.
Okay. They say these things when they want to try. Look, even for me personally, my character, and they would try to attack my character. They'll say he a rat or he just a snap.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is ask him who I talk.
Let's unpack how this storm even started, because this drama is messier than anyone expected. 50 Cent isn't just a rapper, he's hip-hop royalty. The man moved over 30 million records, took 9 shots and lived to tell the story, then flipped that trauma into a business empire worth hundreds of millions. His name represents being untouchable, fearless, never folding under pressure. But now, King Harris, T.I.'s son, is challenging everything that 50 stands for. This isn't petty Instagram shade. This is about reputation, street code, and what happens when your legacy gets questioned in front of the entire world. For someone like 50, who spent 20 years clowning rappers for being fake or soft, this hits different. The stakes are sky high, because if these claims turn out to be true, it could completely reshape how fans view one of hip-hop's most respected figures. To really understand how this all blew up, we've got to rewind.
You see what I'm saying? They talking about, they try to use that I needed to order protection, but why it feels like I'm the bully out here then? If I needed protection, you needed protection.
Unlike most people who go quiet after 50 drags them, King fired back, and that's when things heated up fast. Instead of retreating, King swung hard. He called 50 out for beefing with teenagers and labeled him a straight-up bully. That should have been the cue for 50 to let it go, but this is 50 Cent. He never lets anything slide, and that's when it really started spiraling. 50 pushed it past playful trolling. He started throwing shade at T.I.'s parenting and
protection gone. That's the truth. That's what the fuck it is. Right. And then, look, they used to try to put a spin on anything, like to try and make it look good. And then when you get a beef with or
hinted that Tip couldn't control his son. The King wasn't really built for street life. The jokes stopped feeling funny and turned into full-blown disrespect. T.I. stayed quiet at first, probably hoping it would fade out, but 50 kept poking, post after post, pushing boundaries like he always does. Then 50 crossed a line you just don't cross in hip-hop. He brought Tiny, T.I.'s wife and King's mother, into it. Out of nowhere, he started posting about her appearance, cracking plastic surgery jokes, even dragging up old rumors that had nothing to do with this situation.
Disputes with the younger artists, new artists, they don't know what to use against you, so they use whatever someone else used.
Right.
So they go back and they go, oh.
He posted side-by-side photos of Tiny from years ago versus now, using them for harsh punchlines about her looks. He even mentioned those old allegations involving T.I. and Tiny, allegations they denied and were never charged for. That's when everything exploded. King saw those posts and lost it. He jumped on Instagram Live, face tight with anger, and went off. He said, "You can say whatever you want about me, but you gonna disrespect my mama?"
You heard it when Meek was talking shit, and then you heard it when French was talking. And it's like, I don't take offense to it when they're doing it, because I know what they're doing.
Right.
Nah, that's different. You just opened a door you can't close, old man. That live went nuclear. Over 200,000 viewers tuned in as King poured out pure frustration. The comments were chaos. Some warned him to chill, saying 50 would destroy him online. Others backed him fully, saying he had every right to defend his mother. But what happened next? That's where it gets crazy. King wasn't just venting, he was preparing a move that would flip the entire narrative. While 50 kept dropping memes like it was all jokes, King was quietly digging for receipts. And what he found was about to shake everything.
You know what? I took a picture of where it actually started. And you never see, let Jimmy Hinchman tell you I'm a snitch.
The back and forth kept escalating. 50 refused to slow down. More memes, more clown emojis, more slick captions. He treated King like a punchline in front of millions. One post read, "Ki, come get your son before I really hurt his feelings. This boy think he tough." 50 was clearly entertained. King wasn't. King kept firing back with videos, calling 50 insecure and obsessed with younger artists just to stay relevant.
Let me tell you I'm a snitch. Just say it one time, right?
In one post, King snapped, "You 48 years old, worried about a teenager? That's wild. You're supposed to be a mogul, but you on Instagram all day like a high school girl?" That one landed. People noticed King wasn't scared. The comments under his videos went crazy, thousands hyping him up, saying he was holding his ground. This wasn't meme warfare anymore, it was a generational showdown. Eventually, T.I. stepped in during an interview, trying to cool it off. He said he respected 50, but wished he'd stop dragging his son publicly. King is young, he's learning, he's growing. I don't know why 50 feels the need to keep going at him. That's not the 50 I know, Tip said. But 50 didn't care. He reposted the clip with laughing emojis and doubled down. The internet was in shambles, and everyone thought it was just another social media circus, until March 15th, 2024. That's when King dropped the bomb. He posted a series of Instagram stories showing what appeared to be federal court documents. The caption hit like a missile. "Since you want to talk about who's real and who's fake, let's talk about what you did in 2005. You the biggest snitch in hip-hop, and everybody too scared to say it." The timeline froze, then detonated. The paperwork King shared looked serious. It appeared tied to a federal case, and 50 Cent's real name, Curtis Jackson, was printed across multiple pages. Within minutes, screenshots flooded Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
In less than an hour, both names were trending worldwide. This wasn't petty beef anymore. This was an allegation that could shake 50's entire legacy. Now here's where it gets deep. The documents were connected to a 2005 federal case involving Kenneth McGriff, also known as Supreme. If you know 50's history, you know Supreme is a major figure in his story. McGriff was a powerful name in Queens, New York, the alleged leader of the Supreme Team, one of the most notorious drug crews of the 1980s. By the early 2000s, McGriff was reportedly trying to pivot into the music industry, but he and 50 had serious tension. Rumors claimed 50 exposed street secrets in his music that weren't meant for public ears. McGriff was furious. According to federal prosecutors, he allegedly ordered a hit on 50. When that failed, authorities claimed he targeted people close to him. One of those people was Eric E. Moneybags Smith, who was killed in 2002, adding another dark layer to the saga. When King Harris posted paperwork tied to that case with 50's name attached, shockwaves hit the culture. Fans started questioning everything, wondering if the man who built a career calling out snitches had cooperated with federal agents himself. E. Moneybags wasn't random either. He was closely connected to Jam Master Jay of Run DMC, a true legend. Then, in 2002, Jam Master Jay was tragically murdered inside his Queens studio. Federal investigators believed McGriff might have had links to both killings, partly due to his long-running feud with 50 Cent. And this is where King's paperwork hits hardest. According to what he posted, the 2005 federal documents listed Curtis 50 Cent Jackson as a cooperating witness while prosecutors built their case against McGriff. That's the detail that sent shockwaves through the industry. Now here's the nuance. There are different forms of cooperation. Sometimes people testify under subpoena, meaning they have no choice. Other times, they voluntarily sit down and provide information. The documents King shared suggested that 50 didn't just appear because he was forced. They implied he had multiple meetings with federal agents and provided details about McGriff's alleged threats and activities. According to those filings, 50 met with FBI agents at least 3 times between 2003 and 2005. The paperwork claimed he gave information about direct threats made against him and described conversations and incidents involving McGriff that reportedly aligned with evidence investigators already had. But here's the part that fueled the fire. The documents implied he met with agents voluntarily before any formal testimony was required. And for anyone who lives by street code, that changes everything. World of difference, there's a massive gap between being dragged into open court with no option and voluntarily sitting down with the feds behind closed doors. That detail alone flipped the internet upside down. People were going back and forth. Did 50 cross the line, or was he just protecting himself? The paperwork King Harris posted did not look good. It strongly suggested that 50 Cent voluntarily cooperated with federal agents. One document in particular went viral, an official FBI 302 form. For those who don't know, that's the report agents use to document interviews with witnesses. The form, dated August 5, 2005, described a meeting where Curtis 50 Cent Jackson allegedly gave information about Kenneth McGriff's connections in the music industry and his alleged criminal dealings. It even stated that Jackson was cooperative and forthcoming, claiming he provided valuable intelligence about McGriff's operations and associates. According to those documents, the information 50 gave helped investigators connect critical dots in the case. Then another leaked file raised the stakes even higher. It claimed 50 statements were used to help secure federal wiretaps on McGriff's phones. And that's huge. Wiretaps don't get approved casually. Judges require probable cause, and that usually comes from credible witness testimony. So, based on what those documents showed, 50's cooperation wasn't just casual Q&A. It may have been key evidence that allowed the feds to move forward with their case. But King Harris didn't stop at uploading screenshots. He took it further. He went live on Instagram, holding the paperwork up to the camera, breaking it down line by line for viewers.
He said, "Y'all see this? This the same man who built a whole career calling people snitches. He destroyed Tekashi 6ix9ine for cooperating. He clowned gunplay. He went at Ja Rule. He questioned everybody's street cred. But look at this. Curtis Jackson met with the feds multiple times, voluntarily gave information, helped them build a case." That live exploded instantly. The chat was flying so fast you couldn't even read it. People were stunned. Some said King had exposed a buried secret. Others argued the situation was being twisted out of context. Either way, nobody could look away. The scandal had leveled up. King's stream pulled over 500,000 viewers in real time. The comments were relentless. Some defended 50, saying after surviving 9 gunshots, he had every right to protect himself. Others didn't care about the backstory. If you talk to the feds, you a snitch, period. That was their stance. The debate was heated. King kept pressing. "I ain't making this up. These are federal court documents, public record. Go look it up yourself. Case number 05-00539, United States versus Kenneth McGriff. Curtis Jackson listed right there as a witness who provided information." Then he dropped another bomb. And before y'all say he was subpoenaed, check the dates. He was meeting with them before he was officially called to testify. That's voluntary. The internet went into meltdown mode, but it didn't stop there. More details surfaced, and they made the story even messier. In 2008, when McGriff's case finally went to trial, 50 reportedly refused to testify in open court. He said he feared for his safety and didn't want the snitch label attached to his name. The judge even threatened contempt if he refused to take the stand. Eventually, his legal team worked out a deal. His prior statements to federal agents would be entered into evidence, but he wouldn't have to testify in person. 50 made sure that part didn't get skipped. See, he gave them everything they needed, King said on Live. But when it was time to sit in that chair, he tried to duck it. He didn't want the world to see it. He wanted to help, just not get caught helping. That's worse. At least stand on it. Then he started reading specifics, names, dates, details from the FBI 302 reports showing exactly what 50 allegedly told agents. The hip-hop world froze. Everyone was scrolling, replaying clips, questioning everything they thought they knew about 50 Cent. According to those FBI forms, things got very detailed. The documents claimed Curtis Jackson told agents about private meetings where McGriff allegedly discussed drug operations. He supposedly identified associates and explained their roles within the organization. He described direct threats made against him. He even broke down the meaning of his track Ghetto Quran, explaining why it angered McGriff. Prosecutors allegedly used that information to establish motive and demonstrate ongoing criminal activity. But here's the jaw-dropper. One federal document claimed 50 also provided financial insight, allegedly explaining how McGriff was moving drug money through music industry investments. That's the kind of intel prosecutors dream about when building major RICO cases. And according to those filings, 50's cooperation appeared multiple times in government notes.
In 2007, Kenneth Supreme McGriff was convicted on murder-for-hire charges and sentenced to life in prison. Multiple witnesses and substantial evidence led to that conviction, but 50's reported cooperation was cited as part of the prosecution's overall case narrative. During sentencing, the judge referenced testimony about McGriff's threats and ongoing criminal behavior as proof he posed a serious danger. After King dropped all this, the internet exploded again. But 50, he went silent, completely quiet for nearly 48 hours. For someone who usually posts memes every few hours, that silence was loud. Fans noticed immediately. Speculation spread like wildfire. Some said his lawyers told him to chill. Others thought he was crafting the perfect response. But the longer he stayed quiet, the worse it looked. People started saying he had no comeback this time, no jokes, no captions, nothing. Then, on March 17th, 50 finally returned. He posted a video on Instagram addressing everything head-on. He smirked and said, "Y'all really think I'm worried about some paperwork from 20 years ago?" That single line reignited the chaos. Was he brushing it off or dodging? The debate started all over again. And then he turned up the heat. "Let me explain something to you kids who don't understand how the real world works," he said, eyes locked in. "When somebody tries to kill you, really tries, shoots you 9 times and leaves you for dead, you got every right to protect yourself. The feds came to me. I didn't go to them. They already had a case. They asked about threats on my life. That's not snitching. That's survival." He didn't stop. "Kenneth McGriff tried to have me murdered multiple times. People close to me died. You think I'm supposed to sit back and stay quiet while he keeps coming? I did what I had to do to protect myself and my family." Then he clarified one key point. "For the record, I never testified in court. I never sat on no witness stand pointing fingers. The feds used information about threats made against me. That's different." But once he defended himself, he flipped the spotlight onto King Harris. This kid, T.I.'s son, talking about paperwork he found online. He wasn't even born when this happened. You don't know what I went through. You living off your daddy's name." Then he delivered the line that had social media buzzing. "I survived the streets. I survived 9 shots. I built an empire. What have you done? You 19 with no accomplishments talking about me. That's crazy." The clip racked up millions of views within hours. The internet split again. Some backed 50 hard, saying protecting yourself after nearly being killed isn't snitching. Others weren't convinced. They pointed out that 50 built his brand mocking anyone who cooperated with law enforcement. So now, they argued, he couldn't rewrite the rules.
And then King fired back. Fast. He went live again, heated and ready. "Oh, now he want to explain it. Now he want to give context," King said. But when it was Tekashi, when it was anybody else, he didn't care about context. He didn't care about explanations back then. He labeled people rats and went straight for their careers. You can't switch the rules mid-game. Either cooperating's wrong or it's not. You don't get a personal exception just because it's you. The chat was going crazy, but King wasn't finished. He fired off another shot. And he keeps saying he never testified in court like that makes it better. Bro, you met with FBI agents multiple times. You gave detailed information. You helped build the case. The only reason you didn't testify in person is because you didn't want people to see it. That's not better, that's worse. You wanted to help the feds but hide it from the public. That line hit like a grenade. Social media shook. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, podcasts, everybody had an opinion. Major hip-hop voices jumped in. Some defended 50, saying his case was different. He wasn't flipping on his crew. He was surviving after real attempts on his life. Others stood firm. If you talk to the feds, you a snitch. Period. No fine print. Just when it seemed like things might cool off, 50 Cent fired back, and this time he turned the temperature all the way up. He posted a message that sounded more aggressive than ever. "King Harris, you really want to keep going? I'll expose everything about your family. I'll show the world what T.I. really is. I'll show what your mama really did. You think you did something posting old paperwork?" The comment section detonated. This wasn't just memes anymore. Now family secrets were being threatened. Everyone watching could feel it. This had crossed into dangerous territory. And 50 didn't stop. He doubled down. "I got current information that'll destroy your whole family legacy. Try me." That line shattered another boundary. Now it wasn't about defending his name. It was about potentially dragging T.I. and Tiny's personal lives into the spotlight. The situation was officially out of control. That's when T.I. stepped in, publicly and directly. He posted to 50, "50, you my brother, but now you're threatening my family over Instagram beef with my son? That's not how we move. Let's talk man to man, not on social media."
It was the first time Tip addressed 50 head-on, and you could tell he was done watching from the sidelines. As of now, the drama is still unfolding, but one thing is confirmed: the paperwork King Harris exposed is real. Multiple journalists and hip-hop investigators verified that the federal court documents exist and that they do show 50 Cent cooperating with federal agents in the Kenneth McGriff case. Now, whether that counts as snitching depends on your definition of the street code. Some say 50 did what anyone would after being hunted and nearly killed. Others say the rules don't bend. If you talk to the feds, you break the code. But here's what really has the culture heated: the hypocrisy angle. For years, 50 built a second career clowning people for cooperating with law enforcement. He turned Tekashi 6ix9ine's cooperation into a global punchline. He dragged rappers non-stop over street credibility. If you looked weak, he roasted you. Now, with his own cooperation under the microscope, his defense is that his case was different, that he was a victim, not an informant. That's a hard argument to sell when you spent 2 decades showing zero mercy to others. The hip-hop community split right down the middle.
Older heads who remember the McGriff era and remember when 50 got shot 9 times tend to side with him. They see survival. Younger fans and strict street purists don't care about context. To them, talking to the feds is talking to the feds. That divide turned this into one of the most explosive debates hip-hop has seen in years. As the saga continued, it got even crazier. Major blogs, podcasts, and veteran rappers all chimed in. Some legends tried to calm things down, calling for peace between the families. Others poured gasoline on the fire. Screenshots started surfacing. Producers, DJs, even former collaborators whispering that rumors about 50 cooperating had floated around for years. The difference now? Somebody finally posted proof. And King Harris wasn't slowing down. He posted again, "I'm not doing this for clout, I'm doing this for the truth. Rappers act tough until their own dirt comes out. My generation deserves to know what's real."
That line sparked a generational war. Older artists argued the street code is sacred, the foundation of hip-hop. The younger crowd pushed back. The game evolved. Loyalty doesn't mean dying in silence when your life's on the line. Meanwhile, 50 went live again, pacing inside his mansion, talking straight to the camera. "Y'all want drama? I'll give you drama. But understand something, I'm still here because I play smart. Don't confuse surviving with snitching. I never folded on my people. I protected what's mine." The trademark confidence was there, but the heat was undeniable. Comments were a battlefield. 50's a legend, period. Nah, you can't clown snitches your whole career, then change the definition. It was war in the comments section. Then reports surfaced that 50 and T.I. had a private phone call once things got too serious. Sources said Tip wanted to cool it down before it spiraled further. Word is they agreed to keep family out of it. But insiders claim 50 made it clear he's not apologizing for defending his name. By the end of the week, the tension didn't fade, it shifted. 50 teased a new project, hinting fans would understand everything once they saw it. King hinted he had more receipts if 50 kept talking. This wasn't just beef anymore. It became a battle of generations, values, and reputations, and everybody was watching. By early April 2024, the saga took over hip-hop. Every blog, every YouTube channel, every talk show was covering 50 Cent versus King Harris. What started as Instagram shade had turned into a cultural earthquake. Then the plot thickened again. A grainy clip leaked, allegedly showing 50 meeting with federal investigators in the early 2000s. The quality was rough, but fans swore it was real. The internet exploded. Hashtags like Paperwork50 and Street Code Scandal trended worldwide. Some argued the footage could have been edited, maybe even fake. Others were convinced it was final proof. The debate got so loud, even mainstream outlets like CNN, Complex, and The Shade Room covered the timeline.
King doubled down. "Don't say I'm lying when the truth keep popping up. The street's been new. Y'all just didn't want to see it." That post pulled over 1 million views in under an hour. Comments were wild, some cheering him, others warning him to chill before this got too real. Then 50 went quiet again. 3 days later, he dropped a mysterious trailer for a documentary titled The Real Story. It opened with his voice. Everybody think they know the truth, but they only know what they've been told. Quick flashes of Queens, old photos from his early days. Final screen, coming soon, the truth behind the paperwork. Internet meltdown. Was he about to clear his name or flip the narrative again? Nobody knew. Behind the scenes, whispers said T.I. was furious things had escalated this far, trying to keep King from pushing it further. The younger crowd saw King as brave for challenging a legend. Older heads called it reckless, going at one of hip-hop's most powerful figures, 50 Cent. Now with leaked footage, a pending documentary, and 2 generations clashing online, everyone's waiting for the next move, because at this point, the truth itself feels like the biggest mystery.
No matter how chaotic it's been, one thing is undeniable. King Harris earned respect. Love him or hate him, he stood toe-to-toe with one of hip-hop's most fearless figures and came armed with documentation. He didn't just talk, he showed receipts. That alone gave him credibility in a fight most assumed 50 would dominate. Meanwhile, T.I. found himself stuck in the middle, protecting his son while trying to preserve a long-standing industry relationship. Not an easy position when millions are watching. As for 50 Cent, yes, his reputation took a hit, but let's be honest, this is a man who survived 9 bullets, bankruptcy headlines, and endless beefs. Controversy is his comfort zone. His core fan base isn't going anywhere. Still, even supporters admit the snitch label is heavy once it's attached, and in a culture built on street credibility, that's a tough shadow to outrun. But the real question goes beyond 50 and King. What does this mean for hip-hop? For decades, cooperating with law enforcement was seen as the ultimate betrayal. But as hip-hop evolved into a global corporate powerhouse, those hard lines blurred. The game changed, and King forced the culture to confront that reality. From legends to rookies, everyone's asking, what does real mean in 2024? Is survival betrayal? Can you defend yourself without breaking code? King may not have all the answers, but he sparked a conversation the culture couldn't avoid. No cap, this is one of the wildest beefs of 2024, and it's not over. 50 Cent isn't known for letting things slide, and King Harris made it clear he's not backing down. The paperwork is public record now. Anyone can read it. Anyone can decide for themselves. Will this permanently change how people see 50? Time will tell. But one thing's undeniable. King Harris did what almost nobody could. He got under 50 Cent's skin and forced him to play defense. Even Ja Rule couldn't manage that. This story is far from finished, and we'll be watching every twist. If you've been following this saga, drop your thoughts below. Whose side are you on? 50 Cent or King Harris?